Let me tell you something that might just shift your entire perspective. Mental toughness is more important than motivation, more important than talent, more important than having the perfect plan, the ideal background, or even a strong support system. Mental toughness is the difference between people who wish and people who win. Let's start with a few stories. There was a guy named Luis. Luis wasn't the smartest kid in his class. He didn't go to the best schools. In fact, his first business failed so hard, he had to sell his car just to pay rent. But you know what Luis had? He had grit. He kept showing up. He started waking up at 5 a.m. He learned sales, marketing, even web design, everything from scratch. 3 years later, he didn't just start a new business. He was mentoring others. He went from scraping by to employing 12 people. Not because he was the smartest, not because he had money, but because when most people quit, he didn't. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who had everything going for them? Good grades, supportive parents, money in the bank, and still somehow lost in life? And then there's the opposite. People who had every excuse to give up, but didn't. You see, we glorify success, but we forget that the real story behind every champion is not how much they won, it's how often they refuse to quit. So what is mental toughness? Really? Mental toughness is the ability to keep going when you're tired, when you're afraid, when nobody claps for you, when your dream looks like a stupid idea. It's not about hype. It's not about motivation videos. It's about discipline on the days you don't feel like doing anything. Let me give you some more examples. Sophie, a nurse working night shifts, studied 6 months straight after work every night to pass her med school entrance exam on her 4th try. Marcus, who lost his job during the pandemic, learned carpentry by watching YouTube videos. 3 years later, he runs his own furniture company and is booked 6 months in advance. Tamara, a single mom, started training for marathons at 4 a.m. while her kids slept. Today, she's a sponsored athlete and speaks at schools about self-belief. You don't hear these stories in the headlines, but these are the real wins. Now, here's the catch. Most people don't build mental toughness. Why? Because mental toughness requires doing things that are uncomfortable, and most people live their whole lives trying to avoid discomfort. They avoid hard conversations. They avoid failure. They avoid the gym. They avoid risk. They avoid anything that might make them feel vulnerable, exposed, or not good enough. But guess what? Discomfort is where all your growth lives. If you're only willing to work when it feels good, you'll never get what you want. 2 reasons people stay weak mentally. Number 1, the comfort crisis. Let's be honest, comfort is killing ambition. We have air fryers, heated seats, TikTok, and DoorDash. Everything we want is a few clicks away. But the moment life gets hard, we panic, we crumble. We've forgotten how to struggle and survive. Mental toughness is built in the struggle. You don't get strong without resistance. You don't grow without some friction. You think a blacksmith shapes steel with a hug? No, it takes fire, pressure, repetition. Same goes for your mindset. Number 2, self-image. If you don't believe you're strong, you won't act strong. People fail before they even try because they've already told themselves, I'm not that kind of person. I've never been disciplined. I'm just not good at that. But that's the old you. You don't need to be born tough. You build toughness the same way you build muscle, 1 rep at a time, 1 choice at a time. Let me give you the 4 rules of mental toughness. Rule number 1, do it without motivation. Motivation is a great starter, but it's a terrible driver. Discipline will take you places motivation never could. Get up when you're tired. Train when it's raining. Work when you're discouraged. Real toughness shows up when it's hardest to show up. Rule number 2, Chase discomfort daily. Make discomfort your training ground. Cold showers, public speaking, fasting, reading a difficult book, saying no to something easy, taking the stairs. The more you practice being uncomfortable, the less afraid you are of difficulty. Discomfort becomes your edge. Rule number 3, stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel fully ready to start. And that's the trap. Want to start a business? You'll feel like an imposter. Want to run a marathon? You'll feel like a fraud in the beginning. Want to change careers? You'll feel too old or too behind. Start anyway. You don't become confident and then take action. You take action and then become confident. Rule number 4, train your mind like a muscle. Mental toughness isn't a trait. It's a skill. And just like any skill, it grows through repetition. Journaling when your mind's a mess. Waking up early when your bed is warm. Finishing what you said you'd start. These tiny wins build a mountain of self-respect. My final thought, you don't need to be extraordinary, you just need to be relentless. Don't try to be perfect. Be consistent. Be persistent. Be a little tougher today than you were yesterday. And if nobody claps for you, clap for yourself. Because in the end, your results will speak louder than your excuses. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment, share your story. Let's build a tribe of resilient minds. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started.